Good evening, Californios. This is PodCast24 for the weekend of November 6th, 2021. And we are Red Star Report. This is Voices for the California Nation. With the world in full tilt crazy mode, we've seen a week where a California delegation was actually welcome at a climate summit in Glasgow despite Governor Newsom bowing out at the last minute. Recognition for California as an international entity that's worthy of a little California pride. Unfortunately, we've also seen Joe Biden blunder back better legislation, get further gutted of actual progressive policies that Californians were hoping for, as it's been reduced to a mere 20% of its initial $6 trillion as promised. Yay. Celebrate. Most of that killed off by a coal company asshole from West Virginia that Californians never voted for. Because federal government, right? And of course, we've had the usual Democratic Party's spineless version of a circular firing squad, blaming progressives for an uninspiring Clinton holdover and corporate Democrats' predictable loss in the Virginia governor's race. Here's a hint. Blue no matter who is a catchy slogan, but it doesn't seem to actually motivate anyone on to victory if the Democrats are just as likely as the Republicans to ignore the will of their progressive constituents. But I'm a Californian, so what do I know? Because maybe the most disturbing thing of all after this loss, a number of lefty news media outlets, led by Salon.com and even Bill Maher, are starting to sound a lot like Red Star Report as they publish articles and drop social media on the possibility of secession and the inevitability of an American Civil War. All things we've been saying here on Red Star Report and in the California independence movement for years, as the national media ignored or dismissed us as a fringe movement. So, here I am, singing What Did Your Little Lie Do? And welcome to the resistance. How fun is that, California? So, like and subscribe, because you don't want to miss this show. Just as California kids can start getting vaccinated, and you may have thought it was safe to go outside on a nice fall day, the weirdest shit crosses your desk. From the California independence movement, why can't you just take fuck off and go away for an answer file? You get this train wreck. That's right. Russian Front Organization, Yes Californians, Presidentski for life, Vladimir Putin's own useful idiot, Cabana Boy, and everyone's favorite Russian asshat. Asset. Russian asset. Why can't I ever get that right? Louis Marinelli has announced his campaign kickoff thingy in Sacramento for March 10th, 2022 for the California governor's race. Whether you call that free advertising or California resistance doxing, I'll leave that up to you. Which, as I said, is a little weird because as he throws his Russian ass hat into the ring, has he forgotten to do his homework on this? The California State Constitution says you have to be a resident of the state of California for at least 5 years to run for governor, which at this point means he won't technically be eligible to run for that office in 2022 or 2024. But hey, with that kind of running start, I'm sure he'll have it in the bag for 2030, right? And by the way, if he actually stuck around for that 8 years, it would also make it the greatest amount of time he's ever spent in California, considering he wasn't born here, didn't grow up here, Did spend some time in and after college in California working for the anti-LGBTQ Prop 8 campaign, but now he's been living in Moscow for the past 4 years. So much California warm and fuzzy there, right? But hey, maybe he's just looking to get a good running start with a seriously long lead time. Yeah, don't bet on it. Because this stinks, just like all the other little brass ring publicity stunts Yes California's pulled over the years. A freeloader stunt that front loads 30 seconds of media hype while it preloads yet another exit failure that the California independence movement will have to pick up the credibility check for. Thanks, YesCal. A typically self-indulgent diva move from a dude that pretends to lead a movement that doesn't follow him. A dude that ran off on any of the actual groundwork that's actually building the actual movement today. And a move that will do nothing more than get media FaceTime for one of the most noxious walking liabilities associated with the entire concept of Calexit. And it makes absolutely zero sense. You would think that anyone who really loves California and the ideals of independence as much as these Yes California people claim to would realize that the gross shit mountain of baggage they bring to the Calexit movement are an embarrassment that undermines the efforts of the people trying to make independence a reality. And before anyone gets in a huff, I've heard their whole, we're the true leaders of the California independence movement because we founded the movement back in 2016, blah, 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 blah. Okay. But ignoring the fact that the idea of California independence is, in one form or another anyway, has been around since 1836, it's that whole Red Star thing. You gotta say, after 5 years of failure and 4 years since self-appointed leader Louis Marinelli threw up his hands and rage quit California to go live in Putin's Russia, the movement has moved on, and yes, California's been left behind. That's legit. We can see where Mr. Marinelli bypassed any effort to get the California independence movement support, was disqualified from the California recall. And yet, the California National Party candidate, Michael Loebs, got 26,000 votes in the recall. That's legit. With that in mind, half a dozen people are considering running for state and local office across California as CNP candidates in 2022. That's legit. And even with the Calexit movement having to clean up the mess of past Yes California failures and heal itself from the wounds caused by Yes California's backstabbing, a real grassroots California independence movement is alive and well and growing based on the actual values of real Californians. That's legit. And Mr. Marinelli, on a side note, anyone with legit leadership skills would have recognized that. But is Yes California even talking about the California National Party? Did Mr. Marinelli or any other self-appointed fearless leader of that group call Michael Loebs to congratulate him on reaching so many Californians on behalf of the legit party of the California independence movement? Nope. As far as I can tell, Yes California have actually gone out of their way to ignore it. Which is strange, because I know the Yes California people have heard of the CNP. Right? Who am I kidding, though? That doesn't fit the narrative for Yes California, does it? Why would it, when a brass ring grab run for California governor by a politically damaged and inexperienced candidate that will crash and burn in the most humiliating manner for the California independence movement possible, can get Yes California what they really crave? A few minutes of personal ego FaceTime with ABC and or Fox News, because that's what matters. Yes California isn't really a legit California independence organization. the focus isn't on California independence, is it? Or a better future for California. It's Occam's razor. It is what everyone knows it is, isn't it? A Russian-fronted organization trying to use the California independence movement as one of many tools for the dissolution of the United States. Because dissolution is the solution, right? And the possible chaos caused by an incompetently destabilized United States is the actual Yes California goal. Right, Mr. Marinelli? So let's be clear here. If Yes California really cared about California independence, they would have disbanded their organization 3 years ago, because their very existence is potentially damaging to California's hopes to peacefully achieve a free, democratic, and independent country. The leadership of Yes California abandoned the movement years ago and are not in any way, shape, or form the leaders of the real California independence movement today. And the very idea that Yes California would hold an event in Sacramento to launch a Calexit political campaign that undermines the progress that today's grassroots Calexit groups like the California National Party have made really proves all this to be true. Because they ain't working with anybody. So I guess I just answered my own question. Why can't you just take fuck off and go away for an answer? Because whether it's a lack of leadership abilities or blinding ego trips or being compromised Russian asshats, Yes California doesn't really care about California or California independence. Yes California, no matter how toxic they've become, are all about their desperate struggle to maintain an illusion of leadership for an organization that's no longer relevant. Take it from a born and raised lifelong Californian, a member in good standing with the California National Party, an old dude who's come up through the ranks of the California independence movement, and the unapologetic founder of Red Star Report. That's legit. This is Voices for the California Nation. Next up, Activism in Action with Shankar Singham. Go get him, Shankar.
Attention, Californians. This is Donald Trump Jr. asking you to put down your small arms and release the Californians that you have held captive. Except for the Mexicans and Asians. And we only want your good blocks, just the good blocks. Oh my God, dude. I don't think it would go down like that, but Donald Trump Jr., right? Secretary of Defense wants us to put down our small arms. I don't think it's going to come to that, folks. Even though the press has been talking about it like it has, right? The press has been harping on the Civil War thing, something that we've been telling you guys for the past year, that this is coming on down the mountain here. Finally, the press fucking starts seeing it, right? In fact, let's talk about what happened this week that came out. Now, besides the fact that I told you that Californians, we need to change our perception on firearms, right? We also know why the right wing's protesting, right? These stupid-ass, frivolous culture war protests about CRT and mask mandates. That's all practice. All for practice for after when Trump steals the election, right? And interestingly enough, January 6th, 40 of the worst criminals from January 6th are being held at a section in the D.C. jail where it's just all of them, all 40 of them, one section in the D.C. jail, which the prison guards have called the Patriot Wing. That's right. The prison guards, who are Trump's army, as we found out last year during the protests, they fought for Trump and they beat civilians up for Trump, and they're in the prison. So the prison guards have called it this wing the Patriot Wing. Inside this wing, you have 40 of the most violent insurrectionists of January 6th. Proud Boys, Oath Keepers, Three Percenters, the most violent of them. They have radicalized in there. They've festered in there and they've radicalized. They sing the national anthem 2 to 3 times a day. They have a newsletter that's circulated outside of the compound as well, so it's popular amongst the conservatives. And they're all well funded and lawyered up, folks. They are all funded and lawyered up. They have plenty of money backing them up while they're in jail. Interestingly enough, it also comes out that on the day of January 6th, the FBI found out about the insurrection by many, many, many warnings and chose to do nothing. Certain people didn't. Certain people chose to keep it under the rug and throw the memo away so other agents did not realize what was about to happen. Like I said, folks, like I've been saying all year round, these folks are in the fabric of the United States, connected all the way on up to the highest agencies already, okay? So that's happening. A coup is happening. It's going to happen. What we can do to prepare for it, I went over that with you, but it's not going to come down to pew, pew, pew. Let's shoot it out in the streets. We'll never win that one. They just have too much Walmart ammo, right? We don't, as a wise man told me, this war has no battles. This war has no battles, folks. And what do I mean by that? There's a group of individuals out there called sedition.org. I've talked about them in the past. In fact, at the end of this show, I'm going to show a picture of a person wanted by the FBI for January 6th. These are hundreds and hundreds of people sitting at home looking for these guys and finding them. They found almost close to 400 people, and the search will never stop. This is a global group of people. This isn't just Americans. In fact, the Americans, I would say, are half the people involved. But you have hundreds of people sitting at home behind their computer fighting this war. You see, there's no possible way that even after Trump takes the U.S. government, will they ever take the state? It's actually a good thing. California will have its independence without even having to seek independence. It'll just be independent from that over there because we're not like them. They are stupid. We are not. The United States hasn't come up with one significant thing to mankind in the past 50 years. Every technological advancement has come from this state, and they ride our coattails from it. There's not a man on this planet that can wake up and go to sleep without consuming something from California. That's a fact, folks. That's how much smarter we are than the United States. And you have to believe that. That's a fact. And it's because of that fact is why you don't have to be worried about these Trumpers. Because we use our brains. And there's many ways of doing this. The sedition.org folks are lighting the path for us, folks. If you want to join the battle without getting bloody, and I suggest we all do it, look online. You'll be surprised how many people's lives you can ruin just by having access to the internet. It's been done plenty and plenty of times. You'll be surprised how much access you have because it's just out in the air. You just have to take it. It's the World Wide Web and the dark web. Folks, there's plenty of ways to win this war. In fact, Calexit, this movement, was started in Silicon Valley because I'm not going to mention any names or companies, but 2 developers, hackers, I would plainly say, who are very wealthy, hacked their way into the U.S. Defense Department. That's the truth of Calexit, folks. We hacked into the Defense Department, and it's done every day, by the way, folks, and realized how weak the security is of the United States. Russia does it every day. And out of a dare, Calexit was born, and just because, say fuck the United States, we can protect California better than you can protect your whole country. And that's how Calexit came about through Silicon Valley. So look, we had the brains to do this. During the Second World War, the resistance, if you know any of that wonderful, wonderful history of the resistance and their struggle, we can learn many lessons of that. In fact, I just want to take this moment to say the following. Tiny Hands controls the chicken coop. Tiny Hands controls the chicken coop. Over. All right? That is the code. If you want to find out what it is, the deciphering is on. There's a clue to where the deciphering is. Pay attention closely to this show, and you will get the clue. Okay? So, folks, that's all I got to say. I'm not worried at all. And without giving too much away, Californians, just be prepared. That's why we're urging the small arms, just in case. And upgrade your CPU, okay? We've got this, okay? That's all I've got, Hal. It's Thanksgiving. Oh, actually, I do have another story. Okay, this is activism in action. So there is a protest coming up. Candace Reed, who is a teacher who mocked Native American stereotypes in her classroom to teach math, a video that went viral of her acting a fool. Several groups are very angry, including our good friends, the Quiche. So we're going to, there's actually a protest at her house coming up on the 20th of Saturday, and we will be there to cover that. So just remember that. If you're interested in joining our festivities at 10 o'clock in the morning in the beautiful town of Eastvale to wake up Miss Reed and her neighbors, please, you're more than welcome to comment below, sign up. I'll give you the details. Actually, go to the Facebook and get the details there. That protest is coming up, and that will be an ongoing protest, folks, until Miss Reed leaves. We don't give a shit what the school board does. We don't give a shit what they say. We don't give a shit what Miss Reed said. She hasn't even come out with an apology yet. We want her gone. The groups that are talking to the school board in ironing this situation out, the school board has just told them that it would take about a year to have Miss Reed fired from her tenureship as a teacher. So that's not good enough for us. We know what we're doing over here. She'll be gone by the end of the year. If not, maybe after Christmas. Who knows? Let her have the holidays? Nah. Folks, I can't wait for this protest. It's going to be a doozy. Anyways, Hal, that's all.
Thank you, Shankar. Next up, we have a Red Star Rising follow-up from Monterey at Matt Owens' Red Star Flag Racing. Over to you, Matt.
Hello, everyone. I am in front of the Presidio of Monterey, beginning this transmission by limited means available to me. My apologies to everyone. On 7th November, which is California's Liberation Day, I start this reenactment, if you would, behind the statue representing the Spanish conquest of Junipero Serra. Okay? We hope to remove this statue, set it in a graveyard of statues, and replace it with the statue of someone indigenous. So we'll start here, behind the statue representing the Spanish conquest, and proceed to the Presidio. Night of the 3rd, we arrived, night of the 4th, I should say. The 3rd, the Declaration of Independence was printed and signed and delivered here by our liberation forces overnight, the 3rd, and on the 4th, we arrived here to liberate this place from forces loyal to Governor Gutierrez, who had been imposed on us by the forces loyal to Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna. They refused to surrender, so we fired one cannon shot at them, compelling them to surrender, so they thought. Little did they know, thank goodness, that was our only cannon firing our only shot. And we have indeed liberated the Presidio and now claim it on behalf of independent California. Viva Gran California Libre. As you can see, we're overlooking the town, which is just down there. Can't see it too well from there, but that's okay. We're about to go recreate the journey which was made today, the 7th, after we took this Presidio here, overlooking it, and we entered into negotiations, letting the Diputación, the legislature, know that we recognize them as the legitimate government of an independent California. So here we go, recreating that journey under the same flag we flew all those years ago. So, as you can see, there's a naked flagpole here. Yes? There is the customs house, where we advanced on this day from the Presidio. Having taken it, we advanced on this customs house. I do recall there is a place to put a flag here, and hence our battle jack. We advance on the customs house, plant our battle jack, okay, and we reclaim this for the liberation forces. Viva Gran California Libre.
la Gran California Libre!
Thank you, Matt. That was Matt Owens and Red Star Rising. It's time for Talking Points. All right. Tonight on Talking Points, we gear change and address another frequently asked question. Do you think California would be better off as its own free and independent country? And the short answer, of course, is yes. I mean, hello. This is the California independence movement, so any other response would be a strange answer, right? I mean, I could use the old California independence booth event response and say, you know, California independence couldn't be any worse than what we have now, and look where the United States is heading, and so forth and so on. But that's both a little obvious and purposefully it opens the discussion as an incomplete response for me. It brings up more questions, like what about the money, and what about water? What about a military? Those type of questions that follow a purposely non-definitive answer. A solid answer goes for those who've actually looked at the justification for California independence. The math is pretty clear. California is a donor state, so keeping California tax dollars in California would basically improve California lives. Obvious. The USA routinely ignores or acts or fails to act on issues that reflect the values and needs of California. The socio-political stance of Californians is completely out of step with America's devolving into right-wing fascism or authoritarianism. It's time for California, with the fifth largest economy on Earth and its 40 million people, to evolve beyond being just a state, and so on. All the 2 + 2 = 4 or water is wet. California should be allowed to evolve into its own country answers. Talking point. Do we think California would be better off as an independent country? Yes. Californians deserve to live in a modern, just, fair, and free democracy, and we don't. Between the Electoral College, the U.S. Senate, gerrymandering, and voter suppression, the United States is politically a losing proposition for Californians in a government constitutionally designed to ignore the basic idea of one person, one vote democracy, and to unfairly favor rural red states. For Californians, it's obvious. All states are not created equal. California has more people and a much larger economy than Canada or Mexico. So Californians wouldn't need any help paying for government services any more than Canadians or Mexicans do now. But instead of independence, we have to live in a reality where the USA subsidizes red states that hate California using California's tax money. A growingly one-sided and intolerant U.S. society which demands we act like proud Americans while shaming our California values and culture, and a country that will happily use political gamesmanship and a partisan court to do it. Do we think California would be better off as an independent country? Yes. Because how could anyone honestly doubt that the best move for California would not be to keep our policy making and our tax dollars in California and govern ourselves, would it? Besides, given the federal government's past failures and rapid shift to the extreme right, Californians need to face the truth. If small red rural states hate California politics, culture, and people, and they continue to send representatives to the federal government who are hostile to the best interests of California, why should Californians pay them our hard-earned tax money just to undermine us? All states are not created equal. Think about it. No other state in the United States, and all but a half dozen other recognized countries in the world, are in the same league as California. Would California be better off as an independent country? Is this even a question? This is Talking Points. Well, that's it for this week. Check out our website at www.redstarreport.com. Transcripts for this podcast will be posted there. Also, be sure to subscribe to our Red Star Report YouTube channel, which is where you're watching this. Go find our Red Star Report Facebook page, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc., etc. Because if you want to have a real California independence movement media group, hello, YesCal. It's all about the algorithms. Our thanks to you and all our Red Star Rebels for watching. Have a great weekend. As always, we are Red Star Report.